ask for work, I bring you work.
Nigga, ain't no work in there.
Hello everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Spoiler alert, the third season of Power Book 3, Raising Kanan, is finally halfway through. The good news is that this season has already featured 5 excellent episodes. The bad news is that there are only 5 episodes remaining. After last week's In Sheep's Clothing, we now visit Kanan and the Thomas family for the 5th episode of Season 3, Brothers and Keepers. Kanan is more irritated than ever that he is living with his mother again. However, Kanan's rage escalates to a whole new level when Famous is taken into custody by the authorities. Jukebox and her new girl group, Buddha, are in the midst of their first practices. The dynamic inside the group has its advantages and disadvantages, but for the time being, Jukebox is having fun and getting along well with everyone. As Lulu gets ready for the first hip-hop night at Cafe Vu, Rak keeps working on the plaza she recently purchased. Even when Lulu offers an olive branch to Rak, he doesn't want to make amends because they both want to leave the drug game behind and forge new paths for themselves. Lastly, we have Marvin, who is still the best character this season on the program and a really supportive father, sibling, and friend. The following are some of the main ideas we discussed following the 5th episode of Season 3. Jukebox maintains equilibrium. Jukebox is a vital member of her family. Despite her special traits, Jukebox is really the normal one because she is the one who is the furthest away from the drug gang. She also appears to balance everyone out. When necessary, she corrects Kanan and stands up for him when circumstances demand it. She's the kid that keeps Rak calm, and by calling Marvin out on his B*TCH, she's helped him grow into a better man. Not to be overlooked is Lulu, who is taking the music world by storm with Jukebox as his prodigy. The characteristics that make Jukebox, together with female vocalists Aisha, played by Liv Simone, and Crystal, played by Aaliyah Turner, the perfect balance of her new girl group Buddha. Their manager doesn't think twice to remind Crystal of her position and lack of authority, even if she acts as though she is the group leader and taunts her teammates in the process. Conversely, despite her brilliance, Aisha is unable to perfect the group's dance routine, and her difficulties are evident during the following practice. Aisha is reprimanded by Crystal and their boss, but Jukebox takes the time to console her and promises to assist her in picking up the routine outside of practice. Jukebox demonstrates once more that she's willing to maintain order and balance, if not act as the glue. Particularly underappreciated the real capabilities of Ronnie. Undoubtedly, trouble was imminent following Ronnie's release from prison. On the show, he had an unsettling presence that was difficult to ignore. He had a scary appearance and would not be deterred by even the most intimidating individuals or several guns. For Ronnie, it was not enough to get his brother back into the game, but Unique thought it would be sufficient. Rather, Ronnie's days were spent feeling angry at Unique in the altered gaming environment. Although Ronnie thought Unique was being slack in his efforts, Unique reassured him that things would get better eventually. Even though Unique was starting an operation, he didn't realize how much Ronnie would do to clear his path and start one. You can see why Ronnie was agitated and frustrated when you consider that she also learned of Unique's liaison with Rak. Because he had been imprisoned for a long time, Unique reasoned that Ronnie would be more receptive to his advice regarding the drug trade. Rather, we see that Unique misjudged Ronnie's actual potential as the fierce and terrifying antagonist here to upend Power Book 3, Raising Kanan. Lulu is finally having success. In Episode 5, the inaugural hip-hop night at Cafe Vu took place, and it became evident that Lulu was beginning to feel good about himself. With Lulu's encouragement and threats, a radio personality made the news, and as a result, Cafe Vu was crowded on its debut night under Lulu's direction. Fortunately, there was excellent entertainment throughout the evening. A woman with amazing bars made her way onto the stage, leaving even Famous speechless. Speaking of Famous, he took the stage and gave a riveting performance that won over everyone in the room, including Lulu and others who had doubted Famous's ability. Hip-hop night is off to a tremendous start, which is fantastic for Lulu since, after a protracted period of ups and downs, he really uses a victory. Kanan and Rak are 2 obstinate members of a group. This episode clearly reveals that Rak is the source of Kanan's stubbornness. In brief, Kanan has returned to his mother's house following the discovery of a gun in his school backpack. Kanan, a social worker assigned by the school to Rak's residence, is anticipated to stay there for a minimum of the ensuing 6 months. Kanan and his mother are at odds like never before since he would much rather be at home than at Famous's flat. Still not getting along with with Rack, and it's all because of the scene from the second season finale. Even with her best efforts, Kanan isn't motivated to mend their relationship. Rack finds this annoying on many levels, yet it's understandable that Kanan would be stubborn. In the same episode, Marvin goes up to Rack at her recently acquired plaza and tells her that Lulu has taken over Cafe Vu, a bar in Manhattan, and is throwing a hip-hop night. Marvin arrived on Lulu's behalf, hoping to make amends with Rack following their fallout from the previous season. Even nonetheless, Rack rejects Marvin's invitation and cuts him off when he tries to remind her that Lulu is still a member of their family, a testament to the obstinacy she instilled in her son. Without Rack, the hip-hop night is a success, and Kanan stays under her roof without speaking to his mother. Less stubbornness from Rack or Kanan will help them and make their lives easier. It will be interesting to observe who gives in first,